Hey, welcome to the Elizabeth Project, where we talk about faith, finding purpose, and friendships. I'm your host, Shane.
And I'm Lindsay, and today's episode is Be You.
Hey, you may ask, what are we doing? We don't know.
Not at all.
The Lord gave me this burden, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
At Oasis through a lesson that I was doing between Mary and Elizabeth. And so it's just kind of been on my heart ever since. And we were sitting around on the couch the other day, and I was like, I'm going to launch a Facebook page. And so we just kind of went with it. And I said, you know what? With my personality, I'm such a perfectionist. So it's kind of like, you can't do it until there can be no mess ups, no redos. It's got to be, 30 days of content, hit it, go. But that's not what the Lord wanted it to be. So we're hitting this raw, real, and see where it goes. We decided that the first podcast is something that the Lord has kind of worked on me a whole lot about, and it's just being you, being who the Lord created you to be, because we're all so different, and none of us are going to fit into a mold.
Because there isn't a set mold or a right way to be, so you have to just be who He created you to be, or He would have made us all the same.
That's right. Something that I think that really sparked this was Charlie Kirk, everyone's talking about it at the current moment, was I hear a lot of people after this, we've been hearing people closer in life, I'm behind. I've not done what Charlie Kirk's done. I've not started a organization now at the age of 31. And there are things and attributes that you could strive to be more like, to have more of the boldness. As long as you have been doing what God has called you to do, you're not behind.
Right.
Not everybody can be Charlie Kirk.
Exactly. Not everybody's going to have that same task within the same age range or time frame, but that doesn't make you unsuccessful, but it also doesn't give you a pass just to sit back. If God is putting something in your heart, then let's go for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into the first question.
Okay.
Did you ever realize you were trying to fit someone else's mold instead of embracing who God made you to be?
Yeah, honestly, when you get married, in general, I feel like that is one where you kind of try to figure out maybe who you think your husband wants you to be, or going into ministry is a whole nother level, I guess, of that too, because you're trying to figure out am I supposed to be like them, am I allowed to be like me, and so I remember getting around people and thinking, wow. And so really tried to, mimic what these people did and what I need to do to be more spiritual, or this is what I need to do to be what all these people are saying are great, when that wasn't the case at all. I just need to be who God made me to be in that,
Right, and you were just trying to fit what you felt like was an expectation, even though it probably wasn't by anyone.
Right.
But you just felt that type of pressure. Yeah. And honestly, even with getting married, what you thought a wife was supposed to be and what you thought you were supposed to become, there's just a lot of pressure around it.
There is.
And I think to me sometimes too, I take it back thinking about high school level. So you listeners that are in that, you're trying to find who you really are and what you want to be and trying to fit in. But it happens then, it happens when you're older, it happens all through the stages of life, because there's so many social norms and what we think, and especially y'all nowadays, and we hear it all the time, the comparison and the social media but it is, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be or aspiring to be like someone or like a certain thing, but you've got to go and find who you are. So we got to thinking about when did you discover who you really were?
I'll throw that question back on you.
So, question back to me. I'll be honest, as I was looking at these and Shane had prayerfully set these out, the first thing that came to my mind was my personality traits and things that I had struggled with. And guess what? That was question number 3. But to me, it ties into 1 and 2. Yeah. So I feel like that is a constant, ever-changing, ever-moving, because as we grow, we can go. So I'm not going to say that I've discovered who I really am. I do feel like I'm actually trying to embrace it and live in it. So that's kind of, I'll tie them together, the personality trait. I struggled because I am the type AAA personality that is too much for a lot of people. And I learned a long time ago that your personality is not for everyone, which is a lot of times why opposites attract, or you can fit in a certain circle or situation and someone else. But I really struggled because to the outside, a lot of people were like, man, I wish I could talk like that, or I wish I could do what you do, or I wish I could. But then I got the backlash of if she would just stop talking, or why does she always have to be in the limelight, or why is it all about her? I heard those negative things, or would get vibes off people that I knew that's how they felt about me, and I struggled. And for a long time I questioned God, why did you have to make me this way? Because I didn't know how to back off from, and I was trying to change and back off of that. And that's when I realized, like, this is me, and this is who God created me to be. Let me find the beauty in that. And that came from friendships, relationships, of people pouring into me like, hey, Lindsay, because you can do that, I don't see how you do that. I can't do that. And it's not a boastful thing, y'all, but it's thriving together in life. And because you can't, God allowed me to, and then we do it together.
And it's the same with like me and Lindsay. It was just exactly what she says. I can't tell you how many times I'm way more introverted. My husband, we always laugh that my husband and her are the same, and then me and John are the same, because I will watch Lindsay and she can talk to a room. She can talk to a room full of people, full of strangers, and I'm in a corner about to pass out. And I'm like, how did you do that? I'm all the time like, how did you do that? Like, how did you do that? And but a personality trait about Lindsay, and if you know her, like, she can make anybody feel like,
Stop.
She can make anybody feel like pure gold, you know? And so, like, those are wonderful character traits. And where she's like, I wish I wouldn't talk so much. I'm like, I wish I could talk more. You know what I'm saying?
But, and use this. This is a prime example, though, of how Satan can work in our lives. Because we are bonded in friendship, and the Lord made it. But how easily Satan would want to tell her, if you were more like Lindsay, you could do X, Y, and Z. Or Lindsay, if you would just sit in the corner and shut your mouth, you would be a lot better. But do you see how God wants to use for good, but Satan wants to use that to tear us apart, to tear the, and so y'all, that's why it's so vital to lift each other up. Because how many times she can sit here and speak those words, but like, that's not the first time I've heard that to this camera. She's told me that. It's so important for you to hear those things,
communicate.
For you to communicate that, for us to lift each other up, because Satan wants to do nothing but tear it down.
Just to be so confident. Like, and that's why the whole point of like finding out who you are. Because like she just said, like, it is easier if you're not confident who you are, like, to be that way, to be like, man, I wish I could. And yeah, it's okay to like aspire. Like, a lot of people have good, she has a lot of great traits that I aspire to be more like. Like, that's areas of my life like I really should work harder at. But if not, instead of being like, I'm so glad God made Lindsay the way he made Lindsay. I'm so glad that Lindsay has those gifts and she's able to use them, and thank God like she's able to do the things she does because of her personality.
Right.
But you can't do that if you're not confident in who you are. And so it's all about really finding your God-given personality and what the traits that you have can be used greatly for him, so that way you can encourage other people and look at other people and see the good in other people. And I'll ask you this question because I just ended that one. Can you share a time when a friendship deepened because you both showed up as your real selves?
Hey, all these are so good. Y'all are gonna get the ours, you know, like, it's how cheesy it's not. This is how we are, okay. Us, I feel like this is prime. I feel like that can be in any relationship, but deepening friendships and showing up as your real self. Again, not trying to be who someone is, but truly uplifting and moving and growing together. So if I was trying to just say like, oh, I want to be everything she is, it would stay surface level. Like, how do you think relationships get depth? It's by sharing those deeper things that you're struggling with, that you're living with, even good things, accomplishments. Shane sharing this Elizabeth Project stuff, like, y'all, it came about on the couch, but let me show you how quickly this could have turned. If I would have been like, absolutely not. Or, is that going to include me? Or, like, what would that have done to her? Whereas we took it and said, okay, what can we do from it? How do we use what you're good at? How do we... It's all about learning. And guys, a lot of us didn't get that in our foundational. No. Just to be honest, like how we grew up, or people that schooled you, educated you in your church, you might not have learned this. How do I pour into someone? How do I make a deeper relationship? You just have to try.
The worst communication is no communication. And I think it's just being completely open and honest with your friends about different things. Like, there's been times, like, I'd be like, is something off? And it's just like a quick text, like, hey, is there something between us? Have I done something? And not just letting that stuff fester.
And that's a big part of it, because even, okay, just like, think about this for you mamas out there. I am trying so hard to teach my son right now that saying sorry, we did it this morning, saying sorry is not always a bad thing.
Right.
Or sometimes accidents happen or life happens. I had to send a text, we call them, we'll get into this another episode, but we call them the apology text.
Yes.
But like, I sent one to Shane the other night because something that I did made me feel like it might would have had her feel a certain way, and I should probably apologize just to make sure she didn't think it was towards her. Does it feel awkward? And did I question, like, maybe I shouldn't send that text? But why? What does it matter? Like, just send it so you know it's cleared the air, and then there's not anything looming of a question of, did I do this wrong? Did I say this wrong? Is she mad at me? Is there an issue? Just cut it. Don't even give any gray area for there to be a mishap like that. It's not worth it.
Someone gave us some great advice one time. I was saying a situation had went on, and I was talking to somebody, and I said, I just feel so bad. I said, feel like I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And I said, it's because I didn't know what to do. And he told me this, and he said, when you don't know what to do something.
Right.
Just do something.
Right. Don't just sit on it.
Don't just sit on it. Even if it's a thought you have.
Right.
Just go ahead and get that crucified. Like, there is no sense to live in that, even in that worry.
For sure.
All the time.
For sure.
All right, what's our next one?
Okay. Have you ever lost a friendship? Probably going back to what you just answered, because you stayed true to who you are. And what did it teach you?
A lot of it has to do with your life. Like, we are so stinking busy. We got the 3 kids, and for a while I looked at friendship as another avenue of somewhere I had to give, or another avenue of somewhere like I had to show up as 100% because I am that type of person. I'm 100% or nothing. So like, if I don't feel like I can be 100% friend to you, I'm probably just going to back off and be like, now's probably not the time, which isn't great. So that probably has kept either me from having a friend or losing a friend, just because I felt like I couldn't show up if I wasn't showing up 100%.
Right. And that's different personalities too. And like, I think sometimes we think we lose friendships, but y'all, there's a season for everything.
There is a season.
And sometimes I feel like, when I look back, I'm like, did I lose a friendship, or did God have that orchestrated for that season? And I try not to get that way, but it's like, really, you look back, the season might have ended. And that relationship was for that time frame, and friendships for a season, and what was happening in your life, and that's okay. People can come and go, but to say that you're going to be the closest and best of friends through all the seasons and all the things, it's not true. Like, I think about through stages of my life that I have gained friendships, or some have slacked off because of what I was going through, and what my focus was on probably intensified that in my own life. Like, what I was going through, who else was going through something similar, because then you kind of just bond together. You do. So sometimes I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves of that too.
That's for sure. And we were talking about this. We'll go ahead and skip this next question because we've already kind of answered it. But I was just sitting here thinking, this whole friendship topic that we're on, we kind of got off. We started with be you, but it's really just being you, so that way you can have real, genuine friendships.
Right.
We just made this comment the other day. I said, why is finding friendships apart from the body of Christ? You know what I'm saying? Why is that so much easier?
Right.
It's finding friendships within the church. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, what is the Elizabeth Project? And I said, it's because when me and Heath travel around, there are 2 areas that we really see that are lacking. We see the young adults, obviously, that 18 and up, they're kind of floating because they're not even sure where they fit in, or what's coming next for them in life. And then the other, I've always said, a connection between women. I'm like, why is that? Like, what is missing in that organic?
I think it ties back to being you.
Nobody's secure in who they are.
No, we're not secure. We're not confident. If I'm not just like you, or I'm looking and so badly, I want your life, and if it's not that, then we can't be friends because we're not the same. It's blinders.
It is.
Literally blinders that we have. But like she's saying, why is it easier to be shopping and make a relationship with the lady in the dressing room because she's hyping me up over what I just tried on? And is it because we're not just being us? Is it because sometimes we are crossing that threshold and we're trying to compare? We're having jealousy. We're having bitterness. And that's hard. We have to break these walls to make these relationships. It's vital. We can't do this without each other. We talk all the time. There is no time to slow down or back down. We need every single one of you. All of us.
And in a real, raw friendship kind of way.
Right.
Not just...
Nothing put on. I need you to go to the depths with me.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I
you
don't
only
need
do that
just
for friends.
Yes, that's right. Like, we can have good topical conversations, but like the days that I'm struggling, I need you to call me out on it. Like, I need that realness.
It is.
We're looking for it.
I think about it, calling you out. We'll be like, Lindsay, come on. We've talked enough. Come on. They're waiting on us. And then Lindsay, on the other hand, will be like, Shane, get Chiny up.
Yeah. Come on. We got to get going. We got to talk. You know?
You got to talk to some of these people. Come on, let's go.
But it is. And that's important because we can get stuck in a rut.
Yeah, you can. And
And
it
that's
brings out
what-
the best in each other.
It does. And being you, just don't be stuck. I think that's what keeps ringing in my head about this whole episode of like, what you said, just do something.
Just do something.
Just be you and do
Heavens,
something.
Just do it.
Don't let anything hold you back.
We'll end with this one. What would you tell young girls or even your younger self on this subject?
Oh man.
Yeesh.
Find it as soon as possible. Hear this and move. If you're listening, just go for it. Just be you. Be okay with making mistakes. No one told you you had to be perfect.
No.
No
And be
one told
okay
you
with letting people think that you're making mistakes.
Yes.
I think that was always, well, what would they think? What would, I'll never forget, me and Lindsay became instant friends. Like, we knew each other through different rallies or
Right.
things. But the first time I was down there and I was in a world that I didn't know, I knew nobody, literally shows up and is like honking her horn outside the door. It's like, Mom, I'm going to go shopping. I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay. And me mortified because I don't go with strangers or
Right.
people that I don't know. I'm like,
Stranger danger.
what am I going to talk about? I don't know this lady. Like,
Right.
what are we going to do? And she made it so easy because what? She was being her. And
Right.
her made it easy for me to be me. And
Right.
the rest is
It
history.
just goes younger, older, anybody living in this, just be you. Because honestly, to be real with you, if you're not, it's even more awkward.
It is so awkward.
So
you can
just
tell.
do you.
You can just tell. And I have a heart for teenagers. Always have. Back when we were in West Virginia, even as a teenager, the Lord allowed me to work
Right.
with teenagers. Why they gave me that opportunity, I still don't understand. You
It
know,
was great.
But it has always been. And I look at them and I see them trying to be different people, and I see them trying to operate in different callings. And you're trying to figure yourself out. Like, I get that. So like, as an older, what I'm saying is like, give even the younger grace.
Right.
To figure out who they are.
Right.
You know, because they really don't know. You
They
know?
don't know.
And so giving them that grace, but also to the younger, like, just take a step back. I love this. I love this. So my little girl, Emery, she's all the time like, I don't know, because if I do this, then this person's going to be upset. But if I go over here, then that's not what I really want to do. But she'll take a step back, and she has learned this little habit that I think is the cutest thing ever. She'll say, what does Emery want to do? She'll like, what does Emery want to do? And it won't be 2 seconds later, she'll say, Emery wants to ride with my mommy. and she
she
does
knows.
it. So I guess today what we're telling you is if you're trying to figure yourself out, if you're trying to say, who am I? Just take a step back, close your eyes and say, what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Who am I? What would I do in this situation?
Right.
And then proceed with that and just be you.
Who do you want to be? Be you.
Thanks for spending time with us here on the Elizabeth Project. Every listen, every share, and every message means the world. My hope is that these conversations remind you that you're seen, you're called, and you have a purpose right where you are. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and remember,